supposedly, and I can't confirm this, but there was someone on one of the commentaries that said that the breath wouldn't work on the Tauntaun. So they passed around a bag and cigarettes, and people just puffed on a bunch of cigarettes and blew it into this bag, and they got
That's
one
like my
breath
dream
out
job.
of it.
Well, you know, the official cigarette smoker of Star Wars.
You know what the ideal temperature was for those Tauntauns?
I don't.
Lukewarm.
Oh man, we might have to end the podcast. Boo! Definitely boo.
I'll be here all night.
I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the iKnowBadeaux podcast, coming at you from the Slice on Oak Studios. I'm Mayor Dave Badeaux of the city of Brainerd. With me, as always, is my brother.
I hope this hasn't been boring for you.
Coming at you. All right, Gabriel Johnson, I see you over there.
I am here. Thank you for moving the recording back a day for my schedule.
Your schedule needed to change, so we are recording on a Wednesday instead of a Tuesday, which it's weird,
I appreciate it.
but we thank you for being here. And we weren't about to record without you, but we also weren't going to record without Jesse. Don't call him Pubes.
I mean, if you want to.
Pubes. Well, okay. So after all that talking about how to talk, before we got started, I was like, guys, be consistent in your microphone. I don't even turn his microphone on. So, there we go. There you are. I apologize. Pubes, how are you?
I'm good.
Anything to add super fast before we get started?
No. Maybe mention just how awesome and busy the store's been this summer.
Hell yeah.
Really appreciate all the patronage.
Yeah. And it's all because of a certain podcast. So you're welcome.
It definitely helps.
Yeah, 100%. Should we go ahead and get started?
Yes.
All right, gentlemen. This is the Be Kind Rewind. 1980, Part 2. Once again, as always, the Be Kind Rewind, episodes of the podcast in which we go back, take a look at an entire year. We just did 1980, pop culture and all the goodness that happened. But this is Part 2, which is the movies of the year 1980. We have a selection of movies that we're going to go through today, and those will include Blues Brothers, Caddyshack, Airplane, and The Empire Strikes Back. So those are the selections that we've made. Any other comments just on movies from 1980 before we get started?
Oh, there were a ton. That was an iconic year for movies.
It was a huge year for movies, and actually I struggled with do we, don't we, with a couple other ones. But what we found is we're better off selecting a handful that we can actually consume and then have a conversation about than we are just spitting out as many as we possibly can.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the ones that we selected. It was a lot of fun as well because we were not going to do Empire Strikes Back. Then Jesse came on and said, I must.
I mean, come on. It's the
greatest sequel of
ever
all time.
made, yeah.
I've heard that about Spider-Man too.
Oh, okay, all right. Come on.
I mean, it was good, but...
Let's go ahead and get started, though. We decided to go right ahead and kick it right off with the Blues Brothers.
Yes.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Too bad we can't use the soundtrack in the podcast.
Yeah,
because
well,
that would be
it would be nice.
use the Blues Brothers intro song into it.
I mean, we could probably play a couple seconds of it.
Don't you get so many notes before?
Yeah, there we did. That's fine. We can probably get away
Thanks,
with that.
Dave.
Yeah. Actually, you say that. I was just watching a documentary on YouTube about the making of Blues Brothers, and there were multiple scenes in this YouTube video where they had to blur the whole screen. So they clearly got dinged, and it was always shots of the movie. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm going to be very careful with Blues Brothers, mainly because you don't know until you actually upload it what they're going to try and ding you for.
Right.
So at that point, you're so far down the process that you got to be careful with it. So Blues Brothers was my selection, and I selected it because I have never fully watched this movie.
Really?
Not on television in its regular existence. So I have seen it bits and pieces. I don't even know if I had ever sat down and watched it from start to finish, but I had definitely consumed it prior. Was very well aware of this film, but I had never actually sat and watched the whole thing. And so I thought this is a perfect opportunity to do that. What are your guys' takes on Blues Brothers before we go into it?
It is so off the wall. There are so many elements in this movie that you just don't expect.
I would definitely agree to that. It is definitely off the walls.
Like, yeah, I mean, because this must have been one of the first like SNL skit movies.
Had to have been one of, if not
Because
the,
that was a skit
Yep.
on SNL first.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd wrote the original script and called it The Blues Brothers Return
Yes.
because they'd been on SNL for a while.
Yeah, and actually, to tell you the truth, if we want to just dive right into the whole thing, I think that the story of the Blues Brothers is more interesting than the movie. I think the movie is fun. I liked it.
It's fun.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
that
it.
is exactly how I would describe it. It
Yeah.
is a fun movie.
It's a fun movie. I enjoyed it. It is nonsense. I was surprised by that. I was not prepared for it to be complete nonsense. The backflip car. What? I was not ready for that. And that's at the end of the film when you've already
Or when
seen.
I can't use the N.
Yeah, you don't want to use that.
I don't
word.
want it, but the certain
Yes, the-
German
yes.
crowd people.
The-
They just
yeah.
randomly they
Yeah.
get
I hate Illinois.
somehow they tick them off. I don't know, and then they're on a mission to just take them out.
Yes. Yeah. The
What
whole
was it? What was it that
they
ticked them off?
They were there's a scene where the Indiana, I believe it is, the Indiana Germans are are blocking a bridge, and then people are pissed off and are throwing things at them and stuff, and they're on a mission from God, as you know. And so they just plow right through, and all of the Indiana Germans have to jump into the river.
Oh, that's what it
and
was.
so then
Yep.
for the rest of the film,
They
they're
are just-
chasing
And it
after
was like
them.
the commander and the lieutenant, like their
Yep.
leaders
Yes.
on the way down were the
It's just
one
funny how,
confessed
like-
his love for the other.
nonchalant. It's like no one thinks a thing of it. They go into the guy's office and he's just sitting there painting a gold eagle and he's got all that stuff around him. And it's just like, well, these guys are here.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. To me, this film is fascinating when you like look back at how it got made, because this is, I believe, the follow-up film for John Landis after Animal House. This is the first film written by Dan Aykroyd, and Dan Aykroyd had never written a script before.
And he wasn't all that great at it.
No, he was not.
No. And yeah, it was Landis and Aykroyd.
It was Landis
They're
and
the only
Aykroyd.
ones that wrote it.
So Dan Aykroyd writes a script. It's 324 pages long.
Okay.
He never got over that, by the way. His scripts were always just huge, and they just like, whoa, like the original Ghostbusters
Yes.
script was just insane.
And I think it's crazy that, so he had no idea how to write a script, so he just wrote it. It was in free form, had a bunch of backstories for all of the characters, everything. The thing that I found that was the funniest was that he became so aware that it was such an outlandish script and it was so large that when he delivered it to one of the executives, he took the covers off of a phone book and presented it as a phone book, which is hilarious. But
And
yeah,
Landis had to rewrite the whole thing to make it one movie in length.
yes, and cut it down to be something that's cohesive. I think that's fascinating.
Somewhat cohesive.
Well, yeah, it is basically nonsense throughout the whole thing, but he made it at least so there's a general structure to it.
Right. Go here, play a song,
Yes.
shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Go here, play a song, shenanigans.
Yes.
Go here,
Random
play the final
psycho-
kick-ass song,
Then
gigantic shenanigans. What the fuck is going on? How many fucking cars?
103. They had set a record.
Isn't that
to
still
that
the
point in
record?
time. No, the
Or did
Matrix Reloaded at over 300.
What?
But
Wow, they held that record for a
destroyed
long time.
103 cars, and I didn't verify it, but they said somebody like Chicago or Illinois State Police had just replaced their fleet, so they had
like
hundreds of
right.
cop cars
that's
laying
what
That
around.
was my
got.
question. Like, why?
Where did they get
why? Where did you get all
they
these
just
things?
kept
And your
coming
whole
and coming
idea
and
is just
piling up.
exactly
And
just
it was
keep
just
just
ridiculous.
crash. And people are driving these things. Like, how many stunt people get back problems for the rest of their lives?
Oh, yeah, they just kept. It's like they had to.
They're crashing
guys at the
cars.
bottom
crashing
are
cars.
just like, oh, yeah. Can you imagine just keep piling them up,
Yeah.
and then okay, guess I'm going to be here a while until they can get to me.
I would hope they're
Glass.
reinforced and it's choreographed so you know where you're going to crash
Yes.
and when.
Right.
And
Well,
usually
and that's another thing. How much planning does there have to be to choreograph something like that? Like, okay, you 4 are going to drive like this, then the other 8 are going to come behind. Now these other 12 are going to come from this side, and then this one's going to come flying in from the top and go. Because you get one take.
Yeah.
Like if you fuck it up, you're done.
You're done. It's like, oh, well, we're out of cars.
Absolutely ridiculous. Fairly good. It is a musical.
Yes.
Which is interesting. And John Landis is actually very upset that people do not refer to it as a musical.
Good.
Because he refers to it, this is a musical.
Yeah.
And he's upset that people don't view it as such.
Well, look at all the great musicians that were in it.
Well, and that's the part I want to talk about. That the Blues Brothers were a band. Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi decided they wanted to create a blues band.
Right.
Dan Aykroyd has said that it was John Belushi's idea, and Dan Aykroyd was like, "No, I'm making good money. I kind of like my life, and that sounds kind of like a lot of work."
Yeah.
But he had a speakeasy that people would come down into, and he was really into blues. And so they got into this idea of let's create a band, and then went and found legit amazing musicians to be a part of this. And so that's the part that I had no recollection of it whatsoever, because this is before our time. Right?
Yeah, the soundtrack to the movie was their second album.
Yes.
They had already released an album as the Blues Brothers.
Yes. And it became the #1 album on the Billboard charts.
Yeah. It was
The Blues
fucking
Brothers.
kick-ass music.
Yes. Yes.
Fun.
Yeah. So then they started doing stuff on SNL. And so it was legit performances on SNL.
Right.
Just plugging them their side
That's
gig
That's
on
basically
SNL.
what they did. Yeah. And the way that they became really big was that they started opening for Steve Martin. So they started to travel around and open for Steve Martin, and that is how they really blew up. But it's just fascinating. Paul Schaefer was instrumental in putting the band together. Paul Schaefer. Like, what the hell is going on? This is all these people from New York, or that are in New York. They're really most of them from Chicago and from Canada. But crazy to just watch this group come together and then go like, we are going to merge Chicago blues and New York horns and make this sound of something that really didn't exist. And then, oh, by the way, then there's a movie that everybody remembers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Belushi got a damn good voice.
Yes, he does.
Like,
Not a great actor.
no.
Not a great actor.
He's pretty hammy sometimes and doesn't, yeah.
Not a fantastic. In this, I thought he did a much poorer job than he had done in Animal House. Animal House, I think he just embodied that character. In this, it seemed a little off in points.
I think in both, his delivery, his deadpanness is his strong suit, right? He's not a great actor, but his deadpan delivery on the bits, on the lines,
Yeah.
pulls it together.
But then when he jumps off into the like, we got to get the band together. Like, there's just there was just some parts where I was just like, oh man,
Yeah, he's like feigning
Yeah.
excitement
yeah,
and just being deliberately cheesy.
yeah. The car. Let's get into that real quick.
the Bluesmobile.
The Bluesmobile, a great bit at the beginning.
Oh, he's like, I hate it. Where's the caddy? He's like, this has got cap motor, cap tires.
Yeah. I sold it. I sold it for a microphone.
Yes.
He goes, yeah, that actually makes sense.
That was a great line. It's like, yeah, that makes sense.
He like
Sold
gets
the
mad.
original, yeah.
And
He's
he
like,
he lit a
microphone?
cigarette and then
Yeah.
threw the lighter
Well,
out.
I don't
and then
think it
at the
worked.
end, he's like, oh, you need a new cigarette lighter.
Yeah, but I think he said fix it. I don't know if it actually lit his cigarette.
The cigarette lighter does not work.
Oh, it didn't
That's
work.
why he throws
That's
it
why he
out.
throws
And then he
it
says,
out.
you got to fix your cigarette later.
Dan Aykroyd explains to him why he has purchased the Bluesmobile. It is that because it has all the cop goodness.
My favorite line in the movie.
Yes.
Cop engine.
Yes.
Cop,
Cat.
And then he goes, fix the lighter. And that's the joke is like, okay, as long as you fix the lighter, we'll be okay with it. But this is very Dan Aykroyd. So Dan Aykroyd has to explain things. That's his biggest downfall, is that he has to explain things.
Every movie.
In every movie, he wants it to be believable that these things are happening. But the problem is that you have a car that is ridiculous. And so it does a backflip at one point, right? An actual like gymnastics backflip. And he had written into the script and they filmed. This was one of the things I thought was super, super interesting. He wrote into the script and they actually shot a scene where the car gets parked at night underneath the L train, I believe it was, and underneath the generator or capacitors, and that you were supposed to understand that the car like gets its energy.
Yeah, that is so.
That's a bit deep.
It's a bit Dan Aykroyd for you folks.
That's way too. Yeah, I'm surprised it wasn't something with aliens or ghosts or.
So John Landis cuts that eventually when they had to cut the film down, and he said they argued about whether or not you can get rid of that. And he's like, John,
Key point in the movie.
Dan was like, people need to know why the car flies. And John Landis was like, are you going to travel to every theater and explain what's happening where that car is sitting underneath a train and charging? Are you going to go explain that? It's leaving the movie.
Actually, a scene in Ghost, but they filmed it, and this is another Aykroyd thing. He must have wanted the car to actually be like alive or something. Yeah. And this cop walks up to it to give it a parking ticket, and one of the gizmos starts going on its own, and he puts the ticket on the wiper, and it starts on fire.
Yeah.
We're on a mission from God.
John Landis is the reason that this film works. I will just say that.
Yeah.
Good. Dan Aykroyd's great. I love Dan Aykroyd. Dan Aykroyd is moving forward, does great things. Yeah, but it needed to be grounded. And thank God. Okay, I take it back. It needed to not be grounded. The car flies. It's okay for the car to be magic because this movie is ridiculous.
Yes.
Well, and then directly after that, when the Germans' car goes over and they have that just make it seem like it's falling from a million miles up. It just keeps falling.
With that car, they had to get the car certified as unflyable. There's an FAA certification to be able to drop a car from that high up that it's not going to drift, that it will fall like a brick.
Yeah, so they had to do multiple tests to prove that the car would land where they thought it was going to land, because they dropped it onto an area which is where they store the salt for the winter. And so there's nobody there, and you're not going to hit anybody, but it's technically in the city limits of Chicago. And so in order to do that, they had to get it certified by the FAA so that
this thing does not fly.
This is a thing we are dropping, and it will drop.
Yes.
And yeah, they dropped it directly onto the ground, and by the time it was done, it was about 2 feet tall, if that. It just completely flattened.
I mean, how high was that?
Oh, it was very high.
Because
if you look at the skyscrapers in the background, I mean,
it's very high.
It's like, whoa, they really went up there.
Wild.
Yeah. Super fast, and then we got to get done with this one. But I'd love to tip the cap to the mall scene. It's what this movie is known for.
Oh, Jesus.
And
what the hell?
Oh, and they just got lucky and found a mall that was closed that they were allowed to do that in.
There's pants and burgers. Yeah, lots of space in this mall.
They got sued because the mall expected them to put it back into the same condition they found it in, but they didn't. After the scene, they just left.
What? You just destroyed the mall.
Wrecked that
Like
mall.
everything.
Wrecked
You
it.
took down all the beams and everything.
So a lot of it was built back up, right? So the mall had been stripped down. So there was a lot of really open space that they had kind of built this back up. But yes, they did not put it back together the way that the people expected them to do. Which is fascinating because it is what the movie's known for. And it is probably my favorite part of the movie because they're just driving around and then just saying, oh, they've got a...
Yeah, Pier 1 imports.
This place has got everything.
Yeah. Well, so they had rules. There were certain stores they were allowed to destroy and certain stores they were not allowed to destroy. The other part of it is that they actually had these businesses bring in product to put it in these places.
Gotcha.
So the mall is full of merchandise.
It looks like a mall.
It looks like a mall, and it's full of merchandise that is just on loan.
There is a lot of quick product placement in it.
They hired a security company to watch the stuff because there's millions of dollars worth of stuff in here. And then the security company was stealing the stuff.
Nice.
So they had to hire another security company to watch the security company that
Yeah.
was stealing the stuff.
That's Chicago.
That's Chicago for you. I can't remember what that was. I heard two different things. There was one that said it was in Illinois, and one of them said it was in Texas. So it's either Indiana, Illinois, or Texas, one of the three. But yeah, fascinating that there's stuff in there. There's absolutely stuff in there. But they were very specific about what they were able to destroy and what they were
Right.
not.
It just drifting
And
through the storefronts. Every storefront. Done.
And the stunt people, there's beams and glass flying. It's wow. I mean, there were crowds of stunt people.
Oh,
in there.
yeah, dude. It's insane. When you watch how fast they're driving, and those are real people that have to run out of the fucking way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Holy Christ.
Yeah, that
No,
was
it was.
the one thing with this film, and we got to wrap this one up because otherwise we're never going to get this podcast done. I shouldn't have done this film first because I had a feeling this was going to happen. Oh no, it's a great film, right? But yes, there were multiple scenes in this in which they were driving as fast as they appear to be driving.
Yes.
So much so that they thought people wouldn't believe it. So the people that are there are to give you scale that no, we didn't speed this up.
Right.
They're actually doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not just in the mall, but in the shots in Chicago.
Right.
Going 100 miles an hour under the L.
What the absolute hell is
Instead of
going
100,
on?
I mean, it was like 120 miles an hour, and they're just.
And the cop cars are bouncing off curbs and like crashing, just wrecking the city.
The budget on the stunts were
Unreal.
It had to be
Absolutely
most of the budget
unreal.
of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, this was like $35 million $1980. This was a lot of
That's
money.
a lot of money.
Yeah, big movie, but he had just had Animal House, so he's the guy that people want. I think that's the cool stuff. And to wrap this back into what we're doing, we're in 1980, right? We started off, we did the pre-1977 movies. We talked about the French Connection.
Yeah.
That kicks off the whole car chase thing.
Right.
That goes through Smokey and the Bandit and then into this, where now we're getting into like absurdity of car chases. And then also, let's follow the line of where we're going to go with this. You've got your Animal House in John Landis, and then that breaks into it basically just becomes this buckshot of different people that go out, which will be the next film that we're going to talk about with Caddyshack and the individuals that are involved with that. But before we do,
the same people,
before we do, let's just wrap that up real quick. Final take on Blues Brothers.
John Candy's character
Yes.
looks so much like a fat cop Dave Badeaux.
Come on.
Pull up the picture of you from Trust Me.
Oh, from Trust Me. Oh, yeah.
And put it next to John Candy in the YouTube video when he finally released it. Just put those two pictures next.
We'll put that right there. That's the film that I'm in. For those of you, we still have never released any content with me from that film. I am in a film.
Never seen that.
Well, if you haven't seen it, you can have that copy. I've quite a few copies of the film that I'm in. Okay. Well, he doesn't look that Mexican because I look really Mexican.
You do, but it was the very first thing I thought, is that John Candy? And I said, oh no, that's Dave Badeaux.
I like that you called it a fat version. That's nice.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like that. Yeah, we're in a truck.
We're in a truck!
Okay, final take.
Final take. You said you'd never seen it on DVD before, so you'd only seen it on TV. And it made me think of Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
Because the Blazing Saddles has that scene with the beans.
Yes.
Or on TV, they cut out all of the
Yeah.
farting.
They
did?
And then at the beginning of Blues Brothers, when they go see the penguin, and she's beating the hell out of them down the stairs, and they're just cussing up a storm, it's just silent.
The whole way.
On television. On television, it's just a nun beating them with hearing nothing.
I love that part. They go, fuck this. Get out of there.
Good film. I was very surprised by it. I did really like it. It's not something I'm going to watch over and over again, but I think the story of Blues Brothers is so interesting that it's worth probably bringing back up. I would like us to do an episode where we just go through kind of the Animal House comedy tree.
Just the whole trope
And
of
just
the
watch where it goes, kind of draw it out as to where it goes. But fantastic. But that does lead directly into our next film, Caddyshack.
Yes.
So So yeah, the reason why these two films are tied together is, of course, Harold Ramis.
Yep.
So Caddyshack is the first film directed by Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis was one of the writers of
Animal House.
Yep. And as a first-time director, he chose for his subject matter a raunchy golf comedy.
Yeah. Well, I guess him and Brian Doyle had ties because they both were caddies in their teenage years.
So I don't know about that about Harold Ramis. I know that for sure about Brian Doyle Murphy, who wrote this.
And Chevy Chase and Bill Murray.
So Bill Murray is brothers of Brian Doyle Murray. Brian Doyle Murray wrote this and is co-written between himself, Harold Ramis, and Doug Kenny.
Doug Kenny also did Animal House.
Who also did Animal House. And so this film gets greenlit to be a coming-of-age comedy about caddies on a golf course. This film is released as something that is very different from that initial concept.
The main cast, as they were originally cast, were pretty upset with the final product.
Yes, this coming-of-age tale that is basically telling kind of a fantasy story of Brian Doyle Murphy's growing up as a caddy, then turned into something way different as the cast came on board. So they hired the cast members to be the young caddies, and then, oh, hey, we have Chevy Chase.
And Bill Murray in the script did not have a line, not a single line.
No,
Bill Murray
somehow he improv'd his way into that, like he always does.
Yeah, Bill Murray wasn't even cast when they started filming. So they started filming. They filmed the scene right away. The first shot that they filmed was the scene of the guy doing the speech about the Dalai Lama. And they had hired some local actor that the casting director was like, yeah, we're going to use this guy. He was so bad that they're like, we must immediately change course, and started looking for a different solution, and then created the character of Carl to bring Bill Murray on. He was only there for 6 days, had 0 lines in the script, and then ends up being the driving force behind the entire movie. The thread that makes it work.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Thoughts on Caddyshack?
I mean, I watch it every summer just because it's just such a good movie.
It's pretty fantastic.
This was the first time I ever watched it.
Unbelievable. Thank you very little.
It's been a long time since I've watched a Chevy Chase movie.
Okay.
I forget. He plays that character pretty well.
I think
that's
that smarmy, smug kind of.
Very sarcastic.
Yeah.
I think it rings true.
I have a pool and a pond. The pond would be good for you.
Completely ad-libbed. The dynamic between himself and then the other comedic actors, it just totally takes this film in a totally different direction, right? It goes from being, here's a young man that's trying to win some money to go to college, coming of age, and then turns into, wait a minute, these adults are way more interesting.
Yeah, Murray, Chase, and Dangerfield were all really small bits originally, and then through shooting, Ramis just had to pivot and go with what was. We're making a comedy. Let's take what's funny.
Yeah. Well, these guys are really good at what they do, and I keep filming them do it. I should probably use it.
Well, and I think that's crazy. When you think about how films are made and who the director is makes a big difference. I think we'll talk about that when we get to Empire Strikes Back. But how films are made and the way that things happen, your director is going to determine how that film turns out. There are directors that would come in and go like, no, we will follow this script exactly. And then there are the Adam McKays of the world that become famous for using actors that we're just going to riff. We're going to riff as much as possible.
They're like, I like that better than what's in the script. Keep it.
Yep. So start with one thing. We'll get that and then try something else.
Yeah.
And typically when you do that with funny people, they're going to come up with a better solution by number 3.
Yeah.
You know?
Rodney Dangerfield?
Yes.
Wasn't much of an actor before this movie.
Yes.
They brought him on, didn't really know his way around a set. For his first scene that he was in, Harold Ramis yelled, action. And again, he said, action. And he walked over, he's like, Rodney, are you ready to go? Rodney's like, yeah, I'm ready. Tell me when. When I say action, that's when you go. He's like, okay. So he goes back, he says, action. Nothing. So he says, Rodney, do your bit. Rodney comes out, does his bit, and the rest of the filming, Ramis just said, Rodney, do your bit.
That's
He
great.
never had to learn it.
Well, and there were also a bunch of the actors said as well that after he would get done, Rodney would be stressed out because nobody had laughed at his jokes. He's like, I'm dying. I'm doing terrible. Says, no, that's how recording a movie goes.
Getting no respect.
And yeah, it was his second film that he had been in. He had a small role in another one. I forget what it's called. And then, yeah, this is his first major role in a motion picture. And it does show, right? But again, Rodney Dangerfield is not a fantastic actor by any means, but he just does his shtick.
He's just a funny guy. Yeah.
Very funny.
Yeah, he just kind of did stand-up, didn't he?
Yep.
And perfect for that role, honestly. Is a perfect role for Rodney Dangerfield to play.
Oh, yeah. The no golf course etiquette.
Right,
boisterous.
just boisterous.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
At the country club. Here comes this asshole.
This is the worst looking hat I ever saw. Well, you buy a hat like this, I bet you get a free bowl of soup, huh?
Super interesting the way that this film shakes out because they find a place that is in Florida. They wanted to be as far away from California as possible so that they wouldn't have the studio breathing down their neck. They were lucky that, I believe it was Orion Studios, that pretty much let them kind of have carte blanche to go make their movie. And luckily, the place that they're at had a hotel right on the golf course. So the entire cast and crew is basically taken over this resort.
Nice.
And if you can imagine, in 1979, which is when this was filmed, a lot of
Yes.
and specifically, it was Doug Kenny that has been announced as the bringer of the cocaine.
He enjoyed a sniff.
A known sniffer. But yeah, they're just a young cast and crew with a handful of older guys that are partiers. And you get your Bill Murray in there for a couple days, but Chevy Chase, known to party. Rodney Dangerfield, known to party.
Yes.
And you get him in with a young cast and crew and a lot of debauchery going on.
Wait up, girls. I got a salami I gotta hide still.
The next morning, the grounds crew coming in and going like, what the hell happened?
Yeah.
Because the night before they were having races and basically a demolition derby with the golf carts at night when the place is closed. Probably a bad idea.
Speaking of the grounds people, I found it crazy that there was nobody could make any connection to the Scottish groundskeeper and groundskeeper Willie.
Oh.
Like that is 100%
I
groundskeeper
bet
Willie.
you anything that's
And I
where
tried to
Greenwich
Google
got-
it. I tried Googling it and like maybe it was only ChatGPT that couldn't find the information.
You're hearing it here first.
Yeah. I'm the only one.
Kill the gophers. Well, I'm not going to kill the golfers. Or if we kill the yeah, just yeah.
That guy is groundskeeper Willie.
Yeah, I think
For
it's
sure.
Gotta be.
super interesting too because the young girl that is the love interest of the main caddy, she has a arguably not fantastic Irish accent that is slightly distracting.
Yeah, is that the one that Danny was?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the reason she has an Irish accent is because this is the story of Brian Doyle Murphy, right? And the golf course or the country club that he worked at, the group of people they would bring in the summer was a lot of Irish immigrants that would come over, which is super interesting because I worked for a golf course here. We're resort country in Minnesota. And that's what they do as well, or at least they used to. They would bring in immigrants from...
Oh, they do. Yeah, Madden's did. Yeah.
Madden's and Craigan's here. They would bring in a bunch of immigrants from wherever, Eastern European, a lot of them. And it was just interesting to hear that. So
Yeah.
so you made a decision in the movie that is maybe not great, but it was to stay true to that. Like, well, this is
to
what it
your
was.
truth.
Yes, this is what this was. So therefore, she must be that. So I wonder if he had something to do with that as well. I wonder if that was also a nod to that or not. I don't know.
As a writer of the movie, I bet he had something to do with it.
Well, I mean, the guy being Scottish. I don't know if that's a direct reference to people they would have come on or not.
Yeah.
You would assume so.
I would. think so.
Yeah. We'll go quickly through this because I think this is one that we can jump back to in other episodes as well. But yeah, just crazy. The stuff that's in the film that you remember the most is just added during the process, right? All of Bill Murray's stuff is added during the process. The gopher, which is like the main defining thing that people remember, was not shot when they finished the movie.
Not a fan of the gopher.
You're not a fan of the gopher.
Not a fan of the gopher.
A lot of people are not a fan of the gopher.
I didn't like the gopher. I didn't even particularly care for Bill Murray's character.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I actually think that Bill Murray's character is kind of a little bit much.
It's kind of stupid.
And he's supposed to be stupid.
I mean, not that kind of stupid.
But he's definitely like you took it to a place. You took it to a place.
He didn't go full.
Yeah.
Well,
but that person doesn't exist.
I don't know. I thought the gopher worked for what they did in that one.
It was
It
smart.
was just and it had played beginning and had a little bit to do with the finale.
And at either at the beginning of the movie or just a quick special features things on the DVD, there's a shot they're talking about how much it costs to film the gopher, and Chevy Chase says, "I think that money could have gone to me." I was like, "Yes, I get you now. I get why."
If they would have done
Chevy Chase,
if they would have done what they did in the second movie, which was really focused on the gopher,
yeah,
and then Aykroyd actually played the Bill Murray part, and they made it a lot more of the plot. Of him trying to kill the gopher, and that movie was atrocious.
That is one of the worst rated movies. It is. I think it's one of the worst rated sequels of all time.
So we have the best and the worst sequel on this podcast.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think that Bill Murray's version of that groundskeeper is better than Dan Aykroyd's version of that groundskeeper.
Oh, he was so just ridiculous.
And the gopher is less obnoxious in this one than it is in the second one, because once you know that it's post, right?
Yeah.
They only had one shot of the gopher that they actually filmed, and it was a hand puppet. And then they're like, well, that kind of works. What if we just make that be the tying element that keeps the movie going?
Yeah.
Right? Golf courses and gophers are enemies, right? So, okay, well, how do we get Bill Murray to actually make sense? Because we just shot a bunch of Bill Murray.
Right.
Okay, well, if we tie it all together with the gopher. So you can hate the gopher, but you can't hate the gopher because the movie doesn't work without the gopher.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that actually makes all this shit that you shot work. And it's crazy that they had to go back and have a gopher created specifically for it.
Our movie doesn't make any fucking sense.
Especially if they filmed him blowing up everything and they never had the gopher, it would have been like, oh, there was a gopher.
Well, so that's the thing that's weird. Is like looking back at it, because there's like a scene where like Bill Murray like dives at the gopher and stuff. And so the gopher was a part of the plot, but it wasn't what it is, and it was a little character, right? It was a gopher. It was a rodent.
Right. The puppet turned it into a character.
Yes,
for sure.
Yeah. They tried using actual animals, and they went down the list. I think they ended up trying a ferret even, and it just didn't work. So that went away, and that's how they ended up spending a bunch of money on an animatronic gopher.
It's better with the animatronic since you do the whole fireworks, blow everything up at the end. You wouldn't want to do that to an actual ferret.
Plus, it was kind of funny seeing him running through that.
Best fun fact about this movie, and then we'll move on. So they did not have permission to actually blow up the golf course. There was a sticking point with the people that owned the golf course.
You don't say.
Real golfers don't like their golf course blown up that much.
We like what we're doing here. You guys have been a little bit of chaos. But however, we don't want you to actually blow up the golf course. So they had built the fake green because they didn't want to blow up an actual green. So they kind of built one in between two holes and still could not get permission from them to do it. So one of the producers got the fantastic idea of,
let's do it anyways.
And in order to do that, let's just get them out of here. So they bought them a fancy dinner and took them and took them
No way.
and took them on a boat and
They
then
just
blew
sit-
up their fucking golf course.
No way.
Yes, yes. They
They sent him away on a boat and then blew up their golf course.
they said we're gonna give you a dinner. Let's just thank you. It's been great. We really appreciate this.
We're done here.
And then blew it up.
We had to convince these people to blow up their course. They said no. We created a party, sent them to the party. They went to the party, and while they were there, they saw on the news that their golf course was being blown up.
And one of the biggest problems with this golf course that they didn't know when they started filming, but they found out very quickly once they started, was that it was next to the airport for Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I bet that went over well.
So the whole time they're filming, these airplanes are just coming in every 5 minutes, screwing up the schedule. But when they actually blew it up, they used so much explosives that a pilot actually called it in as a plane crash.
Jesus.
So they don't have permission to do it.
Yeah.
People think that plane crashes are happening. And meanwhile, these guys are just trying to enjoy a nice dinner and a trip on the boat.
They came back. We left. They called the police. They made a file a report, but we gave them money and it was good and it went away.
See, there ain't enough of that rogueness in Hollywood anymore to make.
Yes.
That's why these films existed and they were so good.
Yeah.
Because
Because you just blow up people's stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure that's a crime.
It's just crazy. I love the idea that, what if we just buy them dinner?
Yeah.
And then when they're gone, we will blow up their golf course.
Their multi-million-dollar investment.
Oh, man.
Yeah, just blow it up.
Yeah.
They said we can't. So what?
Yeah. It'll be all right. Final take on Caddyshack.
It did about $35 million in the box office.
it's not bad for a movie that type
It
for
was
that time.
not good. Doug Kenny was pretty down on it.
Well, what was their budget?
It was less than that. It made money,
So
but
did-
he had just come off of Animal House. He
Yeah.
thinks he's a genius.
Oh,
He's
so
only going to have
he's expecting
blockbusters.
the hugest
And it was
return ever.
released like 2 months after a film that he thought was much worse that did $150 million in the box office.
What movie was that?
That was Airplane.
Well, should we just move on to Airplane
There
then,
we go.
folks? So yes, Doug Kenny, this film, the budget I believe was about 30 million and they made like 60. So they made about 30 million.
Okay, they made
on it.
30.
They made 30 million on it. But yes, Animal House budget was nothing. They made a movie for nothing and made an unbelievable amount of money. I think it was $150+ million off of a budget of absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So this film is considered not to be a failure, but in the eyes of the people that wanted it, you hired the guys that made Animal House because you want.
It was so much a failure that Doug Kenny flew to Hawaii, did a pound of cocaine, and jumped off of a cliff.
Jesus.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he did.
He did.
He did.
I'm gonna refute the pound of cocaine.
Well, I don't know how much.
That's a lot.
and the Kauai, I think it was, police ruled it accidental. But Harold Ramis said if it was an accident, he must have slipped and fell while looking for a good place to jump.
Yeah, it is. Oh, they had that good. You seen the movie on him, right?
Yeah.
Or that whole, what was it called? With that whole group, and Ramis was a part of it.
Yeah.
Well, you're
I've talked about it on the podcast, that
Yeah.
Netflix, Doug Kenny.
Yeah, you're talking about National Lampoon.
Oh, yeah.
Because they were the Harvard Lampoon. He was instrumental in making it national.
Yeah, it was like a futile act of genius or something like that.
Yeah, and it was
not a documentary, it was a
It's like a
recreation.
recreation bio thing. It was
So
it's
yeah,
interesting.
it is crazy how intertwined these films are, right? Ramis, first time directing of this. Landis, same year, is doing Blues Brothers. Doug Kenny was in Hawaii with Chevy Chase. Chevy Chase went there because Doug Kenny was down and out and trying
Movie
to cheer
couldn't do half of what Airplane did.
trying to cheer him up. Then Chevy leaves and he tries to fly.
Yeah. Tries to be an airplane.
But I am amazed by that because
I'll show you an airplane.
all of the comments that I've heard from the people around him were like very much like what you said. Like somebody said he must have thought he could fly. Like they were just like flat out like
just dark humor,
Yes.
accepting that
Yeah.
it was bound to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah. So let's talk Airplane though. Airplane is super interesting in that I was unaware that this movie is a direct shot for shot.
It is a recreation of a movie called 0 Hour.
Yes! Exclamation point.
Yes. So it was in the 50s. I think that movie was from the 50s.
Yes.
But then there was a lot of like plane crash disaster movies that were inspired by that.
Yep.
And then the Zucker brothers took the actual 0 Hour movie and shot for shot remade it and just added in jokes.
Yes.
Really, I thought they were spoofing all of the genre, but no, it was shot
It is
for
a shot for shot remake of that movie.
I know that.
I find that so fascinating because after you told me that the other day, I went and looked, and they're really open about this. It's not a secret. They're very open about this is exactly what it is. It is a shot for shot remake of 0 Hour, and the jokes are making fun of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is why this is a hilarious movie. But when you know that they're just making fun of a different movie,
yes,
it is so much more funny.
It's change stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that.
It's unbelievable.
Mind.
Yeah, like there's the one scene where the guy's got like a bottle of booze and he offers it to the lady next to him, and in 0 Hour she says, "Certainly not," and turns away, and then the scene changes.
Oh, and then
in
they
Airplane
added
it's "Certainly not." And then she pulls out some cocaine. It's like that kind of shit.
Yes,
or even the hysterical lady.
Yes.
Where
where
the stewardess is like, "You gotta get it together," and then in
next
0
person?
Hour, another guy moves her aside and does the same thing. So then in Airplane, they just do it like 4 more times. They got
thing.
people with baseball bats, like
waiting in line.
getting ready to beat the shit out of her.
It's funny that the jokes hold up without that reference, and
Right.
the fact that the mass majority of people have no idea that that's the case. So much so that I had just watched Airport, which is the films you're talking about. There's Airport 77, Concorde, Airport 79, which is they basically leading up to this
so
film.
many disaster movies of that era.
So it felt like, oh, this is just spoofing that. And it's still funny because the jokes are that you take it so serious that you're not actually hamming it up. You're just doing the bit straight and it becomes funny. But they're doing it straight because they were watching a film that was a straight film and thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
So did the pilot that couldn't fly, was that a part of the original?
It's
and
the
was
whole
that
plot.
he really did have a drinking problem, but not?
I don't remember the drinking problem, but
His name is the same. His backstory is the same. The cut scenes are the same, which my favorite part of this movie is he keeps doing these flashbacks and telling stories, and then the people keep killing themselves. Because it's so boring.
so boring.
So that's hilarious. But now knowing that people were watching a different movie and then we're like, this is so boring that people should be killing themselves afterwards.
So you just add that in.
So just add it into the movie. It's so much funnier when you know that. I will say this, and I told you this before we got started, that I'm actually going to pull the brakes on this one a little bit because I think now that we know this, we need to do an episode that is just this.
Yeah.
Let's go watch both
Both
of the
of them.
films and then come back
definitely.
and do it.
Yeah.
Because there's so much funny stuff in this film, but now that you know like that it comes from somewhere else.
Right.
Well,
Like,
now
that
I got to
makes
watch 0 Hour.
0 Hour.
I got to watch that now.
And it is straight laced. It think about Airplane if you weren't supposed to laugh, and that is what 0 Hour is. And yet you're going to laugh because it's just ridiculous.
Have you watched 0 Hour?
I have not. I have not yet.
I consumed a bunch of it, but it was
Is it
mainly
funny,
clips.
even though it's serious? Were you laughing at it?
Well, now
Because you know.
like had I just watched it, I don't know. I will say that. So God, it was not this summer. It was the summer before, around Father's Day. I went on a kick where I did a marathon of just disaster movies. So I watched like Earthquake and the Towering Inferno and Poseidon Adventure, which I love. I love the old Poseidon Adventure. And then because I was watching those, Airport showed up, and I was like, oh, I've never seen this. So I binge watched all of the Airport movies. And then I was like, well, no, I need to watch Airplane. So I had went into this experience of just watching all of these movies and then watched it. So I don't know. I will say that those movies in particular, you're like, okay, this is ridiculous, right? So I don't know if you would laugh hard at something, but
you would notice.
You would roll your eyes.
Well, you would get to, say, the scene in the cockpit when the kid comes up into the cockpit. So in 0 Hour, it's exactly what happens in Airplane. The kid comes up, they introduce him, he asks him some questions, he grabs the little airplane toy and hands it to him, and then the scene moves on. But in Airplane, it ends with, Johnny, you ever seen a grown man naked? Like, that's just the joke. It's the exact same scene. You just add in some shit.
Add one line.
But the thing of it is like, then you get into their headspace and you rewatch it and you go, yeah, it sounds like he's trying to molest this young boy. And then they make the joke, he's trying to molest the young boy.
You ever been in a Turkish prison?
Oh, that is just genius.
It's crazy. And so much so that they were told that they would be okay because it was under a spoof. Like you should be fine legally.
Yep.
But to be safe, they just went ahead and bought the rights to this movie. So they couldn't get sued because they own
0 Hour.
Yeah. Which also makes it so weird to me that there isn't like a combination of it. Like they did write a book finally a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And so this is out there. They talk about all this stuff. But it's interesting to me that there isn't like a box set or something you can get where you have both films that they did themselves. You can go on YouTube.
Yeah, you own them both.
Yeah, you own them both. So you would think that you would
make it a bonus feature.
Well, why wouldn't you just?
Well, they could do a side by side with commentary.
Yeah, or even just sell
Scene
0
by scene,
Hour.
side by side with them. That'd be great.
Yeah,
just sell 0 Hour and just say the straight laced version of Airport or of Airplane. Yeah, fascinating. I can't believe it. So we're gonna pull the brakes on this one and bring it back.
Yeah, and then we can do the whole Zucker Brothers talk. Their first movie was Kentucky Fried Movie, directed by John Landis.
Yes. Yeah. I'm telling you, but there's two things here that need to happen. We need to go this way and we need to go that way because this tree of comedy, it sprouts so fast because Animal House was such a success. It sprouts so fast and so strong that it just continues forward for most of what people think of as comedies in the 80s.
And comedies were relatively cheap to make.
Yes.
You know, Blues Brothers was not.
Do you want to know my favorite part other than the suicides? My favorite joke in the movie is she says, I believe the man next to me is a doctor. And he's just got a stethoscope sitting around his neck.
Clearly, that man's a doctor. Excuse me, are you a doctor? Yes, I am.
It's just the way he's sitting. He's sitting there just like, excuse me? Yes, I am. It's so goddamn funny.
Yeah, it's just the rapid fire. Joke after joke after joke, and if it's not somebody saying something funny, something funny's happening in the background. And there are parts in that movie that my wife laughed at, and then you go back and find out that that's exactly what they said in the actual movie. That wasn't a joke. Like he says, the plane it's handling like a wet sponge. Like, that's an actual line from the real movie.
Best part of the real movie is after he lands, the guy says, "That's the worst landing I've ever seen at this airport." It seems so much like what they would say in an airplane.
Exactly. You hear that in an airplane, you're like, "That's a funny joke." No, that was he really said that in the actual movie.
That's what he said. That's what he said. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that. And the nice thing is it allows us to go less hard on Airplane. But this is one of your favorite films.
Oh, I have loved this movie from the second I saw it. It's exactly my style of comedy.
Yeah. And to understand just how much pressure that takes off of you as a filmmaker where the story's already done.
Right.
All you now have to do is just make fun of it.
Yeah, you just have to add a joke, add some jokes here, add a joke here. Some witty dialogue.
But enough about me. I hope this hasn't been boring for you. It's just that whenever I start to talk about Elaine, I always get so carried away. I lose all track of time.
All right, so let's move on. Anything else with that one before we wrap up? But yeah, we'll come back in like a month and do that.
Oh, yeah.
Word.
Okay. All right, let's get into the last one, folks. And we're already about an hour in, so we have less time for this than we probably need. But this is the movie, The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah. Episode 5, folks.
Decent little sequel.
Yeah.
Decent little sequel.
Second best ever behind Spider-Man 2.
Jesse, I'm going to let you lead the way because this was your selection. So take it away.
Well, yeah, like I said, it's considered the best sequel of all time.
Why is that?
Just the story, the mood, the whole flow, everything about the movie was just great. And,
Okay, thanks.
And George Lucas didn't direct it.
It's the best because it's
George
the
Lucas
best.
didn't
And
direct
that was
it.
the only one.
Is that why it's
George
so much
Lucas
more?
did not direct it?
He did not.
Is that why it's so much more cinematic?
Maybe.
I feel like there were shots in this movie
Yes.
that you did not see
Yes.
in A New Hope, like actual structured shots. Which I will say, back to the Blues Brothers, the shot with the car parked out of the prison and the gate and the guards. It's a very well constructed shot. I really liked that a lot. It was like the first thing I said about the movie. I said, "This is a nice shot."
Yeah, Landis is a very good director. Landis is very good. He did a fantastic job with that. I do have a take on the director of this film, but let's get into it a little bit before I start going down my road.
Yep.
It is the 5th episode of Star Wars. It is the second film released of Star Wars because obviously now we all know George Lucas. He wrote his whole backstory, and then it's like we're going to start in the middle. It is meant to be in an opera form of. It is a 3-act opera. This is the second act, and it is the reason why it is darker. It is the reason why it ends on a bummer. But that's the reason why it's the most enjoyable now. Back then, people didn't think this was the greatest Star Wars movie they'd ever seen.
Yeah.
When people got out of this particular movie, people said, yeah, it's good. I like it, but the first one's better. That was the consensus at the time, which is interesting. If we go back into 1980, most people leaving this film are like, this is not as good as the
if
first
I was
one.
a 10-year-old and everybody was captured and frozen in carbonite.
Well, they ended on such a downer. Right. I mean, that movie ended on just a huge downer.
Right. How many other movies before this would even try that?
I can't think of one that was set up to do that, right?
Yeah.
You can have a bummer ending. We just got through the 70s. The 70s were nothing but bummer endings, right? But this is, well, there's more, right? The bummer endings then were like, no, this is meant to make you feel like shit because it's the 70s and you should feel like shit. This is, but wait, there's more. And now you have to wait 3 years. 3 years to watch the end of this.
Yeah, it's like being a Venture Brothers fan.
That's exactly what it is. Jesse, your favorite aspect of this movie? Let's go with that.
Just the whole tone, the
Vibe.
different, like just how it goes from the ice planet to, and the clouds, just the different settings, the swamp, Dagobah.
Yeah.
To, the brightness of Cloud City. And then even though Cloud City is all nice and bright, there's this dark underbelly in there that where and just the whole finding out that Darth Vader is Luke's father.
Which is crazy.
I remember the first time I found that out. And it was like, what?
It's crazy that they were able to keep that a secret until the movie was released.
Yeah, I remember seeing some short of Mark Hamill talking about it way back in the day.
Yep. They didn't even tell. Yeah.
They didn't tell anybody.
Nope. It was a complete surprise when he heard that on set. Now, there was one little thing I did remember hearing is the guy who was in Darth Vader, David Prowse. He told somebody that fact.
Well,
and that they say is why when they took his helmet off in Return of the Jedi, David Prowse wanted to be that person. He wanted his face shown finally after being Darth Vader and be that actor.
Yeah.
That, what was it, Sebastian Shaw or whoever played. And Lucas was so pissed at him still.
Yeah.
For almost spoiling that he's like, nope.
So I hadn't.
I mean, James Earl Jones in that costume.
That would have been.
Well, I hadn't heard that. So I know that they tried doing the thing where they put out fake spoilers, like they let it leak within some of the cast, and then the fake spoiler got out.
See what gets out.
See
who
who's
you can
snitching.
And it did get out. I believe what they had told people was that it was Obi-Wan is your father. What did I just say? Did I say that correctly? What came out of my mouth?
Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan is your father. Wow. I can't even say anything that George Lucas writes without thinking like, what am I saying? Obi-Wan is his father, and that was what then leaked out, and they were very upset about that because it's like, okay, this is why nobody can know. Hamill didn't know until basically the day of shooting that that's what was going to happen. The actor in Darth Vader didn't know, from what I heard. They just directed him what movements to make.
Yeah.
And
I'm talking like he said that before
prior to the movie coming out.
Yeah.
Okay. While acting, he has no idea what's going on. He's just being told, raise your arm, do this, do that, and just giving direction as to what the character should do without having any idea of what the voiceover was going to be on it.
Right. There would be only one person that would have to know.
Yeah. So it's crazy. And that's exactly how that ended up being the case. And it happened. It stuck. Most people were not aware. Even today, you could watch this with kids and people love to keep that part.
Right.
You know, like unless you make the mistake like Gabe does and you watch it from episode 1 to straight through.
No, I don't know. I saw 4, 5, 6 first.
What about your kids?
I think my kids went 1 through 9. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do it that way. You can't do it that
No,
way.
Joe did 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3. Jackson 1 through 9.
Yeah, it's not fair to go 1 through 9. Fantastic film. Lots of stuff in it that is very, very cutting edge.
Pressing the boundaries again for this one,
Unbelievable.
especially the whole Hoth battle.
Yep.
Because of the white background. Like I remember even the VHS cut, the original. You could see the little black
You can still see it.
lines, and I guess that was incredibly hard to pull off.
Yeah, you can still see that even on. So this is a Blu-ray version of it, and you can still see bounding boxes a little bit of the things that like where they had to place it in, but it's very subtle and it doesn't detract from it. I'm amazed at how well Hoth looks.
Yeah.
Like just like the stuff that they shoot, or when they're going through the asteroids.
Right.
The asteroids look phenomenal.
That scene is probably my favorite Star Wars scene.
It's so well done.
And the music, the score for that asteroid, it's my favorite piece of Star Wars music.
Yeah, the most interesting stuff to this for me is that George Lucas pays for this himself. This is his money
That
from
was
Star
another
Wars.
thing. He wanted self-finance.
Because
So
he doesn't want
he
any
wants
input.
full control.
He wants full control over this film. And not only that, he wants full control over to be able to finish this.
To be able to pick somebody else to direct it.
Well, and so he talks about that. And let's get into my take on
Well,
this.
the first one, he almost died. I mean, from stress.
Yeah, yeah.
So he does not like directing.
He's a guy that is too much into the details, much like Dan Aykroyd. It is his folly, and it is why the prequels are not as good as the original trilogy.
Dialogue is not his strong.
He was super smart. He was super smart in the first film to know that if I try to explain this stuff, people will get bogged down. So he didn't explain anything in that first film. The second film, then he doesn't direct it, so that's removed a little bit. When he got back into the prequels and he starts directing and he starts trying to explain things, that's the problem, is you're getting away from your original vision, which is nobody needs to know
what a fucking midichlorian is.
Yes. The car,
you don't need to explain how the Force
How
is.
magic works.
the car flies. The car flies in Blues Brothers because it's magic, Dan Aykroyd. That's why.
Because it's just ridiculous to see a car.
Not to go back to Blues Brothers, but
This is the Blues Brothers episode.
in order to get, I thought it wasn't going to be. I thought there was the Blues Brothers.
Spend the least amount of time on that one.
They couldn't get the car to like do what they wanted to, so they just throw it. And if you watch that scene again, when the car does the backflip, it like does its backflip, and then when it's flying through the air, you can totally tell it's just somebody just threw a model car. They literally just throw it.
Oh yeah, and then just cuts back to the landing.
And it looks exactly like somebody threw a toy car. But in this film, this is my take on it. I had always been a George Lucas can't direct guy. I still will argue that George Lucas gets too far into the weeds and that it detracts from some of the other stuff. But now, having done what we've done here and going back, we watched American Graffiti.
That was his best
It's an
piece of work ever.
Amazingly crafted
Absolutely
film.
amazing film.
It's an amazingly crafted film. Kevin Yeager will argue that it is Star Wars, only just in cars on in a city.
It is.
Right?
Well, that's how Lucas grew up.
That Lucas's take on this is he's trying to do this. Here's the things I like, and I'm going to show them in my own version of them, which people have been arguing lately is why the superhero stuff is falling apart, is because you're just getting people that grew up making this. Same thing with Star Wars. The people making Star Wars now grew up with Star Wars and are remaking Star Wars, whereas George Lucas grew up on serials that were shown, and he was remaking his own serials into these stories that he enjoyed. Yeah. You're just rehashing the things. Before, it was a conglomeration of all these different things.
I thought it was because they were casting women and making them gay.
Well, that's, the problem with most of what Disney is doing is you are trying to pinhole shit way too hard. Just take a step back and take a deep breath. So I have now listened to a couple different commentaries from this film, and my opinion on the director has completely flipped.
Okay.
Listening to George Lucas talk about Star Wars or American Graffiti or any of his other films is fascinating. It is absolutely fascinating. He will explain things that you wouldn't have picked up and like talk about like the filmmaking process and all this stuff. And it is unbelievably enjoyable to watch. Listening to the director of this film, Irvin Kershner, talk about this film is on the level of Arnold Schwarzenegger in Total Recall.
Yeah, it's amazing that this movie turned out the way it did with him directing it. Because you listened to it. Yeah, like
I went back and looked to see like what else did he do? Because I'm a director guy. I love to like let's go binge watch a director's whole catalog. I want to see what else they've done. This man has done nothing else that is of significant note, and yet has made one of the best films of all time.
And that's maybe why Lucas went in that direction, is somebody who is detached from the subject matter to just put it together and hopefully do a good job. But
And Lucas was on set, and Lucas was there, but Lucas was acting as a technical advisor to say, here's what we can and cannot do. Here's what the story is and is not. The shots that you talk about, it's beautifully shot, and that's because this guy did a fantastic job with it. And also then because Lucas was paying for it and this guy was doing it, he could press to say, no, we're going to get this right. Where this is going to cost more money, but this is the way I want this to be shot. It is a beautiful film.
Yeah.
It is absolutely beautiful. Hearing this man talk about this film, I wonder if he can walk. I don't know. It was unbelievable. It's like there's this great scene where Han is being tortured, right? And in it, you're just like, yeah, they torture Han, right? They're trying to get information from him. And Lucas says they're not trying to get information from him. They're just trying to inflict as much pain as possible so it will cause a disturbance in the Force so that Luke will feel it and come to the rescue.
Well, the idea in this scene is that they're torturing Han Solo in order to cause him pain, in order to give off the vibrations in the Force that allow Luke to sense that there's something wrong. It's not a matter of asking questions. It's a matter of getting him to suffer so that Luke will be attracted to the suffering and try to stop it.
Okay, I had never experienced that scene like that. And maybe you say that wasn't well shown, right? Directly after that, there's a scene where Chewbacca is putting C-3PO back together, and it cuts to Kershner talking about it, and he says he put his head on backwards and now he's mad about it. So
yes, insight.
I was like, this is so profound. Oh my God, I'd never experienced that. And it's like, fucking Christ, what is happening?
He thinks he's doing a great job, but he puts the head on backwards. And of course, he's angry.
Wow.
Yeah, so my opinion of him as a director, I used to say that this is a better film because Lucas didn't direct it. I no longer feel that way. I do think that it is slightly removed and it is better shot. And there's a little bit more of like another person kind of viewing it through a slightly different lens that allows it to be something a little bit greater than the first film. But this is, I'm not putting any credit on Irvin Kershner for this film anymore.
Okay.
0%.
That's high praise.
He made shots behind the camera, and that was it.
He did a great job.
Oh, he did.
He did a great job. Yeah. He did a great job. But fuck it. Jesus, I've never wanted to listen to someone stop talking faster. Like, just stop. Man. I want to just watch the movie now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Should we get into a little bit of the dirt and then we'll wrap this episode up? Scott, let's get your take on it super quick.
Well, I mean, it's the second best sequel of all time.
What's the first?
Spider-Man 2.
I'm part of the dumbest group of people. Let's talk Yoda. Should we?
Yeah.
So that's a move. In your world of little monsters and whatnot, the idea that you wanted to show this great, powerful wizard as something very small. And again, Lucas,
a little kooky.
Lucas talks about it. It is the frog on the side of the road. This is a tale that has been done 1,000 times, right? You look past it and it can't help me, but yet it is the all-powerful thing that you need. To then take that and just get lucky and be filming across the street from Jim Henson.
Yeah.
And go like, hey, could you guys like work with us on making a puppet? And then Jim Henson saying the guy you want is Frank Oz.
Yeah.
And that's how this whole thing comes about. Then all of a sudden we end up with one of the most iconic characters in film history.
Yeah.
And boom, back to Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Scott, what was your take on Yoda having gone back and watched this now?
He's a silly goose. He's such a silly little boy.
Look how he's all goofy, and then all of a sudden he's like, just turns all dark, like, I can't train him.
Yep. Now that is why you fail.
You will be. You will be.
So I'm going to say this, going back and watching it again, puppet's a puppet.
Yes.
Puppet's a puppet. It looks like foam. I found the eyes to be distracting. They did a lot of really cool stuff with like the ears and the brow and stuff to make him have emotion.
I don't like his mouth.
Yeah.
His mouth is weird, pursy.
A little buttholey. Little buttholey.
And the little like pointy teeth.
Yeah. But go back and watch it. I'm not a fan of adding things to films. Put a little gloss or something on the eyes. Like get a little sheen to them.
Watch it on the original cut on VHS.
There you go. Yeah. If maybe that's the problem. I was watching in Blu-ray, so everything is perfectly clear.
Yeah.
The puppet
that's
is
a problem when you get those.
Yes, the puppet is very clearly dirty foam. Like it's very clearly dirty foam, and the eyes don't change their focus. I think it's strange that you don't realize that like eyes will change focus as they look around. So if you turn and your eye doesn't change its focus, it's a little distracting. I did find that a little weird. I was like, I had never thought this. I thought it was always done so well done. And it's like, well, maybe we can back off on the high definition a little bit.
Right.
Like just blur it a little bit or something, folks.
There are a lot of movies that you go back and watch when they put them in like 4K and it's like, oh, you can really see the makeup.
Yeah. Get rid of the scotch.
Like
tape.
aging makeup, it's really bad
Yeah.
when you go back.
Gabe, let's get a last take on it here.
My favorite Star Wars movie. It's the best one.
Okay.
I just love the bad guys winning at the end. No profound statement. I'm just a basic bitch, but it's pretty cool to see the bad guys.
Yeah.
The shit
It was,
good
yeah,
at.
just to end it.
Right.
Like they got the rebels getting their butt whooped. Luke got his hand chopped off and found out who his dad was. And Han Solo
Han's
got put in
gone,
carbonite, taken to,
Everything's fucked.
Everything is not good.
Yeah, there's not enough movies that
No.
end where the bad guys win.
That's why I hated the new movies, because they just tried to recreate
Well, they
that.
could have ended after episode 5, and I think it would be a better movie series.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
just failed.
Empire
Game
wins.
over.
I like the third film.
I hate the Ewoks.
Well, the
We'll do
Ewoks-
that in 83.
Yeah, the Ewoks are a little bit much.
My favorite movie where the bad guys win is Arlington Road. Ever seen that?
I have not.
Oh, you should check it out. But after you forget that the bad guys win at the end.
I was gonna say, forget that. Spoiler alert. Hey, you seen this movie? No. Oh, now you know the ending.
A couple fun little tidbits about the filming process. I found it fascinating that the Tauntauns, basically nothing would work on them. They went up to Norway to
Probably
film it.
too cold.
Too cold. Nothing would work.
It was bad. The blizzards they were.
Yep.
I mean, at the hotel room.
That was a Hoth
I
joke,
remember.
but they were in a really cold place.
I wasn't being serious. I think they shot on location.
Yeah, they were supposed to. On off. The Tauntaun was supposed to have breath to make it look a little bit more realistic. That did not work. There is someone on one of
Bigfoot sucks too. That's kind of stupid.
Yeah. One of the Bigfoot in the original one really sucks. Like there's almost nothing that you see in the original cut of it. They've since added a lot to that scene. But yeah, supposedly, and I can't confirm this, but there was someone on one of the commentaries that said that the breath wouldn't work on the Tauntaun. So they passed around a bag and cigarettes, and people just puffed on a bunch of cigarettes and blew it into this bag, and they got
That's
one
like my
breath
dream
out
job.
of it.
Well, you know,
The official cigarette smoker of Star Wars.
you know what the ideal temperature was for those Tauntauns?
I don't.
Lukewarm.
Oh man, we might have to end the podcast.
Boo.
Definitely boo.
I'll be here all night.
The thing that I found really fascinating was that Mark Hamill was in a bad car accident before this film happened and had to have his face reconstructed.
So those scars were real.
A car? I
on
thought it
his
was
face.
a motorcycle.
Well, it was a car accident.
Was it quite a car
I'm
accident?
pretty sure it was a car accident.
Okay.
And there are people that have said, but George Lucas has said that this isn't necessarily true, but the shot at the beginning of the film was added to kind of mess up his face so that you would go along with the fact that his face
when he
was
gets attacked by the
because his
Wampa.
face looks considerably different in this film. Yeah.
Okay.
Which is interesting. But George Lucas has said that it was added specifically to add like a little bit of mystique and danger to we're just waiting for the Empire to find them.
Yeah.
Like otherwise you're just waiting for the Empire. And in this, they're like, well, something's happening while you're waiting for the Empire. Because really you're just waiting to get discovered. So, but
Which seems like a real pussy move. I mean, really.
Waiting to get discovered?
Yeah.
Like they were just hiding in a snow world.
Hiding,
What kind of rebellion just sits and hides?
Well, you had already
biding your time, Gabe.
I mean, come on. You know, they found out it was Yavin in the last movie, so they had to relocate and find somewhere.
You got to live somewhere.
Yeah, in the caves of Afghanistan, I guess.
Yeah, let's
That's
rebuild
basically
everything
what it
in these
is.
ice caves that have like creatures that are
Well,
behind ice walls that could break through at any time.
It turned out fantastic, and I will also say that because of the structure that they built this off of in the 3-act, it allowed for them to have the big set piece happen at the beginning. So right away as you get into this film, you're like, holy shit, this movie's moving. And then it gets a little slow after that, but it still is well done. And it is honestly one of the best films that's ever been made, which is interesting to me now, having heard the director. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how it happened. It's fantastic. It's beautifully shot. It's fun. It's funny. It is mostly jokes. I was surprised by that.
Yeah.
Watching it again, I was like, this is just jokes the whole time. All they do is gag after gag after gag after gag. And it's all these old gags that have been done a million times in things, but it's like, but now in space.
Right.
So it is amazing that it works out and that it works out so well, but fantastic film. Jesse, final take, and we're going to get out of here.
Definitely my favorite. I'll never forget the first time I watched it. Just lifelong impact. And yeah, my favorite Star Wars movie by far too.
For my ally is the Force.
Is it your favorite movie?
Top 5.
All right.
You didn't buy a Millennium Falcon.
Fair.
Not yet.
Totally fair. Yeah, I forgot.
Not yet.
Back to the Future, Ghostbusters.
It's true.
Actually,
You gotta
I'll be
figure out what the other
constructing a
two
big
are.
one in my backyard.
And a Millennium Falcon.
Yeah.
All right, folks, that's enough for this episode. I liked it. I thought the movies of the 80s was very good, and that was just a handful of them. We didn't even get to go through.
There were,
What
well,
a
even
year.
Going back to
pretty
like
good.
you were talking about the crazy cars.
Yeah.
Chase. I mean, that's the year that Smokey 2 came out.
It is, and I wanted to do Smokey 2, but Smokey 2 is not a good movie.
No, it's not.
It's not a good movie. I will say this, it does fit right into the philosophy of Dave Badeaux in that 1980 is not the start of the 80s because these films are the continuation of most things that have already been happening, right? Airplane was pitched as Animal House in an Airplane. They said, no, that's not the movie we want to make, but we know how Hollywood works.
Oh, tell the executives this will be like Animal House.
Yes.
That one that just made a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Caddyshack was pitched as Animal House on a golf course. And the same thing with Star Wars. This is the second
Animal House in space.
Well, having watched it again, kind of. It's just a wacky comedy full of wacky beasts. All right, folks, that's it for 1980, a solid year. We're going to come back after a little bit and, again, do the airplane thing. I want to do, like I said, I want to do the wrap up or like the tree of all of the films that come from Animal House. I also think, and you guys tell me if I'm nuts for doing this, I think that every 5 years we should do kind of a recap of the decade. So my philosophy is...
A decade is 10 years.
We say that, but my philosophy on a decade is that everyone talks about decades, but they're not decades. They're really 5-year chunks.
So do we go back and talk about the things we talked about over the last couple of months, or do we introduce new material?
I think we go through and we kind of talk about, because this happens every time we get done with an episode. We're like, oh God, we should have said that, or we should have, we find something out. What happened the other day that we found out that we absolutely should have done? Oh, that show called Friday.
Fridays.
1980 there's a show called Friday that is just a knockoff of Saturday Night Live, and it is totally worth doing at least 20 minutes on.
Yep.
I couldn't believe it. I watched a significant amount of this show, but there's always things like that. I
saw one skit that had Larry David in it.
Yes.
And Kramer from
Yes.
Seinfeld.
Yep.
And it was like a Saturday Night Fights thing, but it was just an apartment building and a husband and a wife. I was like, is it gonna fight? Are they gonna fight? Is a fist fight gonna break out?
I was surprised that the show, I mean, it's a sketch comedy show from the 70s, right? On regular television. But I was surprised by it. And I think every time we do one of these episodes, there's a little of those, so there will be enough of that content. But I also kind of want to go like, here's where we are. 77 to 82 is a chunk of life that is very much the same thing. Then as we get into like 83, 84, 85, 86, that is its own thing. And then again, 87 through 92, 93, it's its own thing. These are, everyone thinks of decades as being decades, but they're really not. They're smaller chunks.
We
than
use
that.
numbers so we can communicate.
We do that, but it's so wildly inaccurate. When people talk about the 80s, we hear this all the time. People are like, oh, the 80s. People think the 80s were nice and bright, but really the 80s were brown. Well, no, 83 was brown.
Yeah.
87 was brightish. 88 was neon everything. So you can't, if you just glump it all together.
Cultural decades are 5 years.
Yes. So we'll talk about it if we want to do it or not. Really, it solves us from having to go back through and be done with this in 12 months again and have to start over for a third time.
Yeah.
So
would we be done with 2008 in 12 months?
No, but we would get through. I mean, it's 12 years, right? If we did one, well, I take that back because we're on a 5-week cycle.
So 10 years a year.
10 years a year, roughly. So yeah, it kind of depends on where we end up with it, but I don't know. We'll talk about it. Well, that was a fascinating way to end the podcast. None of that made
Thanks
the
for
episode.
sticking with us.
All right. Thank you, Gabe. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you.
And with that, we're done.
Oh yeah, I got to do a quick plug here.
Oh yeah, do the plug. But first, before you plug though, I'm just gonna tell you this. In my confirmed facts, the actor that played Darth Vader did not know he was the father until the actual premiere. So you're full of shit. Called you out. Full of shit.
That's content.
It says it right here.
That's content.
It says it
put
right
that
here.
in the podcast.
Yeah, we'll put it in there, and then we'll have you be wrong, and then everyone can yell at you for being wrong.
You look it up.
I looked it up.
Yeah,
I looked
fact.
it up. I looked it up.
It was on. I have a document. I'll bring it in.
I got it right here. It says the actor playing Darth Vader did not find out he was the father until the actual screening of the film. This is accurate.
I
'Cause I
feel like
asked
that's mixing up facts.
I want
I
sources.
feel like that might be because I've heard that he didn't know that his voice wasn't going to be in there until he actually saw the film. So I'm wondering if maybe this is just mixing
I know
up
where
facts.
I saw that. There is a documentary about David Prowse. Watch it.
Okay. All right. We'll go to that.
Prove me wrong.
All right. Do your plug.
Oh, I thought I'd plug one of our classmates.
Yeah,
books.
let's
He
do
wrote
it.
a book. Jake Redquist.
Jake Redquist went to
Yep.
school with him, graduated with him. The name of the book?
We're All Dead Here.
We're All Dead Here.
Great book. I read it.
Okay.
Where can you get it?
Well, it's available at Plane Trade for $9.99.
Hey.
Or Amazon if you're not from around here.
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's super interesting. It's cool to watch what people that you grew up with go on to do. And I have not read it, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's for a young adult novel.
Okay.
I mean,
It's the way to do
it kept me very engaged.
Young adult is the way to write books because that's how you get people to remember it later in their life and continue to pass it on.
And I'll just say, without spoiling too much, it will take you from eerie abandoned hospitals all the way to desert battles in World War II.
Oh, wow.
So it's interesting.
Sounds like a Reading Rainbow review.
I also like that it's Jake C. Rudquest.
Yes.
I like it. You got to add that.
Not to be confused with that B. Rudquist.
You don't want that B. Rudquest.
You got to get the initial in there.
I love the initial. The initial ad is a great
If
ad.
I wrote
think
I
about that
would
sometimes,
definitely, or I'd
like-
just go by my J.G. Huber. Or something
I
like
think
that.
I
If
would be. Yeah.
Oh, J.G. Huber is way better.
I think I would be.
Jesse? The
pubes?
Yeah.
Way better.
I would be
J.G. Huber?
C. Scott Badeaux.
C. Scott Badeaux. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right.
Well, see you later.
Hey, you want to make $14 the hard way?